If you're a health professional thinking about starting your own business, let me tell you something that most people won't. The biggest reason why most health professionals struggle to build a successful business isn't because they're not skilled enough or they're not smart enough. It's because they're stuck in the mindset of a health provider instead of thinking like an entrepreneur. So if you do not make this shift, you're gonna stay stuck no matter how much you love helping people, if you know what I mean. So today I'm gonna be breaking down exactly how to transition from being a health professional to a high-level health entrepreneur. This shift is exactly what took me from seeing clients to building a multiple six-figure business, and it can do the same for you. And trust me, once you get this, it's gonna change everything. So let's get right into it. First things first, being good at what you do isn't gonna be enough if you want to build a business. This is where most health professionals go wrong. They think, if I just get one more certification, if I have more knowledge, more experience, then people will start paying me. But that is absolutely wrong. Your expertise doesn't automatically turn into more income because your ability to market, sell, and systemize your business does. So in a clinic or a hospital setting or like a private practice, obviously your job is to treat patients or see clients if you're a holistic health professional. But in business, your job is going to be to create a scalable system. This is where you can help more people without burning yourself out. And the real mindset shift here is you gotta stop thinking like a practitioner and you gotta start thinking like a CEO. Because let me tell you something, CEOs, they don't just help people. They start to build systems that's gonna help people at a scale. So, for example, when I first started, I was fresh out of school. I had gotten my PhD and I was like, okay, where's my suitcase full of money and I'm ready to work. And the reality hit me that, oh shit, like I don't know anything about anything and I feel lost and I don't even know where to see clients, if I should work somewhere or have my own practice. And I always had a more entrepreneurial mindset, so I wanted to build my own practice, and COVID hit at the same time. So I was forced to transition into an online setting and basically make it work in an online setting. I had to learn how to market myself. I had to learn business skills. I had to make so many mistakes to know what mistakes to never make again. And this is where I was also starting to work with clients, some one-on-one, and I just wanted to move beyond it because it wasn't even sustainable. I thought that, okay, if I just worked with one more person, if I just worked with a few more people, then I'll make it. But the reality was like that entire year, I actually made only $2,000 from my private practice. So that is where I was like, this is not working. I got to analyze what is kind of working in this space, what aligns with me, because I love to live between different states and I just wanted to have the freedom while also doing what I love, which was helping people. So that is where it was really tough to understand that being a health professional and being an entrepreneur are two different things. And there were many times that I was like, oh my God, like I'm not adequate enough. I don't understand business. Maybe if I had more experience, then I would know how to handle clients better, then I would have more customers. But it had nothing to do with that. It's just that as health professionals, we become really good at our art and our craft, but we unfortunately don't get trained enough in what to do with our social media, what to do with our business, and how to basically have a health entrepreneur mindset. Because if you don't have a health entrepreneurship mindset, then you're gonna get burnt out fast because you're gonna be like, why is this happening to me? You keep questioning your entire existence, why things aren't working for you. And I want you to know it's not that you're doing something wrong, it's just that you are not trained yet on how to be an entrepreneur and an entrepreneur. And this is where in this video I really want to help you out so you understand the difference between being a health provider, a health coach, and a health entrepreneur, somebody who can run their own company, somebody who can help people get them well again, but at the same time have a successful six-figure business. So this is where I want to talk about getting comfortable with risk and uncertainty, because this one's big. If you're used to clinical work, if you're used to coaching, you're probably very used to certainty. You know, it's about science, data, protocol. We don't guess. We follow what is proven. But in business is all about uncertainty. And that freaks most health professionals out because they're like, what the fuck? You know, I know like with my anatomy and physiology where my organs are, what I need to do to get a body back in homeostasis. But here it is in business. I'm following things that everybody else is following in business. So why isn't it working for me? I also want you to know know, health entrepreneurship is kind of different than overall entrepreneurship. I personally invested over $200,000 in different mentors and coaches and programs, and I, as a result, had to face a lot of different fires too, because they didn't know how to work with my business. Like, the advices they were giving was more generic, was more general business advice, and it wasn't tailored for a health professional, somebody who wanted to build like that online practice, wanted to grow it. So I had to build out a lot of different systems that would work for my industry, that would be scalable. And this is where I don't want other health professionals to go through the same fires, the same struggles that I went through. At least you're going to expedite your growth by 3 times, by 5 times, by not doing the stuff that I did, and obviously getting that jump start. So the first thing is obviously having that perfect mindset, and this is the purpose of that video. So business is all about uncertainty, and most successful entrepreneurs, they do not try to avoid risk. They learn to manage it. And what does that mean? That means the more you embrace uncertainty, the faster you're going to grow. Every mistake you make in business is not a failure. I want you to know that. Every mistake is just data. So the faster you can collect data, the faster you're going to win in this space. And it's also about how fast you move, which we'll get into in a second. I want you to think about the way to basically put this in perspective. I will give you like a practical exercise. Think of that time where you were afraid to take a risk, but you did it anyway. What happened then? Was the outcome as scary as you thought? Or not really? Because what you're gonna notice is that usually we overestimate risk and we underestimate our ability to figure things out. And this is where people panic and they just really don't like taking risks. So I want you to write down one thing in your business that you're hesitant about because of uncertainty, and write down what is that one step that you can take today to move forward anyway. Trust me, this is going to help you out so much, because at the end of the day, those choices, they're going to give you the right data that you need to know whether you should double down on it and do more of that because it is working, or whether you should completely forget it. I don't know the exact number, but I remember hearing a story about Thomas Edison, that the guy found out 948 times or something he failed at creating light bulb. And somebody told Thomas that, hey Thomas, like, you failed 948 times and then you finally made a light bulb. And Thomas said, no, I didn't fail. Every failure took me closer to the success that I have. So I really love that. Even like, I heard that story towards the end of my schooling years, and it was so inspirational to me to know that it's all about your perception, like how you view the world. If you think you're failing, if you think everything you took, is not worth it, then that's going to get reflected in your attitude and in your business. So when you face uncertainty, go with it with full force and take that step anyways, as long as you know that it has had proof of concept. There are certain business models that they do not have proof of concept, and it's going to be so hard to crack that because you don't know if it's going to work or not. But even with my own business model, I pulled from different business models that were out there. I analyzed everything and I pulled the best of it, and I knew that it was going to work with the right guidance that I got throughout it. And I did get a lot of wrong guidances too, and I'm more than happy to share it with you guys in my YouTube channel. But the point of it being that it's really important to follow the recipe, to follow the guidance, to follow the proof of concept when it comes to business. And obviously, as long as you're following what other people have followed, that they have seen success from, then you will be collecting data. It's not going to be failure if it doesn't work out, because your niche, your industry, your everything's going to be different than somebody else's. So what I want to talk about next is how to move from an operator to a visionary. And right now, I'm pretty sure you might be stuck in the operator mode. Now you may be like, Mel, what the heck's an operator mode? So this is where you're basically used to being hands-on, doing all the work yourself, not really delegating. But if you want to grow, you can't just be an operator. You have to become a visionary. And this is a business concept that I want you guys to basically understand it in your head. That means delegating, automating, and focusing on the big picture growth. So your job as a health entrepreneur isn't just to do tasks, get things done. It's to basically set the direction. It's about making strategic decisions. And it's about building a machine that is going to run even when you're not working 24/7. Because if your business business needs you to be there in order for it to be functional, that is not a business. That's basically a job. So what I want you to know is, like, even with the restaurant concepts, like imagine you're running a restaurant. If you're the chef cooking every meal, you're obviously limited. You're going to be capped. But if you start building systems, hiring other chefs, creating an efficient process, you can be serving hundreds and even thousands without being in the kitchen all day. Now, that is what shifts your business from small scale to massive success. The art of delegating is so important. And when I learned about delegation was when I was about 19, and it was very random. Like, when you open your browser and, like, I don't think Safari does that, but Firefox does it. It usually gives you like a bunch of news. There was an article that I clicked on it, and it was saying, like, this is an advice from a millionaire. And the guy was saying, I basically realized that if I can pay someone to do something for me and it's cheap, like, cooking your meal or cleaning your house or whatever that it may be, being your assistant, getting shit done basically. If I can pay someone to do that for less, and if I can use that time to be even making more money, then that is what I'm gonna do. Because when you don't want to delegate, when you want to do everything yourself, that is where most people get stuck and they don't make enough money. So the art of delegation is so important, and that really expanded my mind that definitely makes sense. Like, some tasks, it's so easy, like you don't necessarily need to delegate, but it's about how much time investment is that task taking out of your day that you could be delegating to something way more important than, let's say, cleaning your house or making a lunch for a party or, uploading your post. Time out of your day. So it's really important to understand how can you be that visionary and not just an operator, because an operator basically has a job, whereas a visionary is the true CEO of a company. Another concept that I want to talk about is about perfection, because one of the biggest things that holds health professional back is actually wanting to be perfect. So I get it, you come from a field where mistakes are not an option in medicine. We aim for perfection because lives are on the line, and maybe you're in the official medical field, maybe you're in the alternative holistic realm, maybe you're a health coach, you're not a doctor, but it doesn't matter. Like, people's wellness are on the line, people's lives are on the line. But in business, that perfection is going to kill your progress. So you do not need the perfect website, you do not need the perfect aesthetic Instagram, the perfect program before you even start making money. Business is about speed and iteration. So you launch, you refine, you improve. If you're going to be waiting for perfect, that is where you're already losing to someone who's willing to start messy. For example, with me, I thought I have to have a perfect program, and actually before working with a mentor, I spent 3 whole months working day and night on a program. It was about weight loss and gut health, and I thought it was going to be a perfect program. And once I finished my program, I was like, okay, now I should start on marketing because everything's kind of set up. I mean, the bulk of it is set up. I know what I want to serve people. So I started marketing. I went viral. In 5 weeks, I got 50,000 followers. I continued growing. And I told my coach, I said, when should we start selling? When should we launch the program? First of all, after going viral, I realized that my market wanted something completely different than the program that I had created. And then I got myself a coach, and he was like, Mel, you do not need to create your program just yet. You actually need to start selling first and then create your program. And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, I can't sell what I don't know, And he said, like, the outline, what people need, but the actual program where you have to film, where you have to, create your assets, do not do that yet, because that is where you get market data as to what people really want. What is it that they're seeking, they're looking for? And he was totally right. Like, I did 1 month of enrollment calls and I learned so much, and I was able to refine my offer as a result. Now, the unfortunate truth was that it was like November of 2022. I started selling on November of 2022. I had a lot of leads, I had a lot of calls, and nobody signed up. And it was my first time selling a high ticket sales program. Like, I had never sold anything like that before, so I was uncomfortable. I'm naturally an introvert, so it was like, what is this? This is really pushing me out of my comfort zone, but I had to make it work. So I basically started with that, and everybody signed up the last day of November, and I was completely screwed because I had no program in in place. Like I had to build everything, and I pulled an all-nighter. I launched it. It was great. The first 10 people saw great results. I signed up about 10 people, and it was messy, but it was working. It was great. And that is how a lot of people get stuck with, oh, I need more certification. Oh, I need more expertise. Oh, I need to be working for somebody else before I feel confident enough. Oh, I don't know if I should start on social media because I don't know if I feel, again, confident enough. That is where you're losing to someone who is willing to put themselves out there, who is willing to start anyways. All that stuff that you think you need, like the perfect Instagram page or the perfect whatever posts, website, you do not need. Like if you don't have any presence yet, it doesn't make sense to start on that yet. If you want to have an online practice, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to do an in-person, which is going to be a bit of a different business model. But regardless, you do need to be making these mindset shifts, because if you're acting and if you have an attitude of a health professional and you do not have the attitude of a CEO, if you're being an operator and you don't know how to be a visionary, then this is where you get stuck. This is where you think that, what if I failed? What if this won't work? What if, somebody is better than me and I need to learn more and do more? And that is where basically nothing gets started. And maybe you start, maybe you just make a little bit money here and there. And I want you all to know there is a huge market out there for each and every one of you to be making minimum $25,000, $20,000 a month. Now, maybe some of you would be like, Mel, I just want $10,000 a month. Like I would be so happy. And that is so doable. The most important thing is that you have the right mindset and you start, and that is how you see results. I want you to comment below one thing that you've been wanting to perfect before launching. What do you feel like is stopping you? And your first version, I want you to know it does not need to be perfect, because it just needs to be functional. As long as it's functional, people can use it, people can benefit from it. That's what's important at the end of the day. Results are important. You do not need to make it all pretty and aesthetic, because people care about whether or not you can get them back to the goals that they came to you for. So let's break down that perfectionism together. Mindset shifts are basically useless without execution. And here's what I want you to do right now. Number one, drop a comment below. Tell me what's holding you back from growing your business. Let's talk about it. Number two, write down your why. Like, what is the real reason that you actually want this business to succeed? Because when things get rough, and I promise you they will, like I used to think business is all shiny and fun, and man, it broke me down. So I want you to know that why is what's gonna keep you going. Like, why the fuck do you want to do this every single day? What is that one person or one thing or one mission that is causing you to even keep going? Because when you're truly clear on why the fuck you're even doing all this, then even when you face fires and even when things get rough, you're gonna keep going regardless. And number three, if you're ready to stop overthinking and basically start growing your health business the right way, I've got something for you. So click the link below. Let's talk about how we can help you build, grow, and scale. If this video helped you, hit that like button so YouTube shows it to more health professionals. Hit that like button so YouTube shows it to more health professionals who need it, and obviously show you more of these videos. And make sure that you subscribe, because I'll be dropping more real, no BS business strategies to help you scale as a health professional. See you in the next one.